Hello and welcome to the demonstration portion of the Career Tech Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Roten, and I'm here with Nick Macario from Doc. Nick is the co-founder and CEO at Doc, and he's going to walk us through the platform today. But before we get there, if you've not yet listened to the podcast with Nick, I encourage you to head on over to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast player might be, and check that out. So with that, I'm going to turn this presentation over now for the demonstration portion to Nick. So Nick, welcome to the demo portion of the Career Tech Podcast.
Hey, Ryan. Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me. Thanks for listening in.
Okay, so we're looking at the inside or behind this. Once we log in, we're looking at what we would see on Doc, right?
Right, exactly. This is the logged in application. So to recap what Doc does, Doc is all about helping people control their digital identity and information that lives online. So as an internet user, your information lives in hundreds of different applications. It's purchased, sold, repackaged, used in malicious ways. Really internet users have no control, and we're all about helping people control that. So as Doc, we're initially building tools around that experience, tools to help you better control your information online and establish the one source, the one identity you'd like to use online. And then ultimately, we'll be building out integrations with applications so you can start to connect with applications in a seamless and controlled way, which really opens up some interesting possibilities in terms of being able to instantly port information to and from applications and really removing any frictions and automating a lot of processes. So yeah, I mean, the app itself, like I said, our initial focus right now is building out some tools. There's a lot of back-end infrastructure work happening right now to facilitate this data exchange that we're talking about and build out these integrations with different networks. But initially right here, what you have, this is the home section, which is actually going to be changing over the next few weeks. We have a big release coming up, but there's a couple tools here that we've released. They're both called SafeScan. One's called SafeScan Email. One's called SafeScan Password. These are two of many tools we're going to be introducing to help you better control your information online. So SafeScan Email, what this does is essentially scans your email and scans data breaches. There's been tons of data breaches over the years between Equifax and LinkedIn and Snapchat, you name it. And there's been many large data breaches, and people's credentials have been part of those data breaches. So for instance, LinkedIn, you'll see here, my information has been exposed in many data breaches. Many people aren't aware of this and continue to use the same set of credentials, the same passwords on these different sites. Over and over again, essentially giving open access to the internet, because these credentials live in public forums and dark web forums. So we try to help bring some light to that and help people understand that if their information has been a part of any of these data breaches, like, we want to make you aware. And then second, we want to help you make sure you go out and change your password so that people can't access your accounts, because you don't want to give people open access to your accounts. So that's this first feature right here. I'm going to go ahead and started my scan here. You can see I'm tracking a couple different emails here, my personal email, my work email. If you want to reach me, go ahead and say hello. But you can see there's 6 different websites and then 2 different spam lists that my information was a part of. So we analyze a bunch of data breaches and find data. So you can see my information was part of a Gmail dump. It was part of Coachella that got hacked. It was part of LinkedIn, part of NetTeller, part of Ticketfly, part of Zomato. This is just my information. So these credentials that I was using, and I could click this and open and look for more details, but I could see when this took place. This was on May 16th, and basically provide some steps to help you secure this account. So you want to go and update your password. You want to enable 2-factor authentication if this is an account that should be really secure, and go ahead and delete this account if you're no longer using it. So this one's called SafeScan Email. Helps people identify potential vulnerabilities that exist.
Smart.
We built, as a follow-up, we got a really good response to that, and people wanted to know specific passwords that were exposed. So with SafeScan Password, you could come in here and basically enter a specific password.
Type in your 1, 2, 3 password.
Yeah, exactly. And it's important to note too that we do not store these passwords. We do not store these passwords at all. So some people get a little worried about this feature, and we do not store these passwords. This tool is meant to help people. So, but you enter in your password, scan to see if it was compromised. This one password I just entered, we could see this was part of 6 data breaches. So obviously what I want to do here is never use this password again, and
Right.
go change the password on any accounts that I do use this password. So you can enter any password you like and see if this password has been exposed in any previous data breaches. Really, this is about kind of managing your online accounts and the access to those accounts. And we'll be extending this functionality too. And like I said, we have a big release coming up to where you'll be able to manage your online accounts and say, you know what, here is a list of all of my online accounts. Like let's make sure those are secure and monitor those accounts. And if I'm no longer using these accounts, let's go ahead and delete those. So that'll be coming out in a future release in the next few weeks.
That's super cool. About 6 months ago, I discovered the beauty of 1Password, and
Oh, yep.
I probably should have discovered it many, many years ago, but still, I was reluctant to do it. But I did it because I got frustrated trying to remember all my different passwords from everywhere else. So, I mean, just the fact that you can scan for it and find areas where I'm exposed and give me an idea of where I need to go and do some updates. I mean, that's awesome.
Right. Yeah. 1Password is great. LastPass is great as well. If you're using a password manager, make sure it's a trusted brand. But yeah, there's great services. Not only do they help you remember your passwords, but become a lot more secure as well. So this is part of that tool set I was talking about. We have some really cool tools that we'll be releasing on top of this as well. And the initial experience is like, okay, let's help you control your information a bit better. And then in My Info, this is about creating your identity. This is your doc identity, but it's not just your doc identity. This is your digital identity that you want to use across the internet to say, if I'm using an application here or there, this is the identity I can instantly plug into the site. So some basic information that you manage here. You can also import it. You can import it via LinkedIn. Bit of a manual process because LinkedIn puts a lot of friction in place in terms of getting that data, but you can import it. So you have your basic profile and kind of work experiences and skills and such.
Let me ask you this. If you import your LinkedIn data and then I make a change to LinkedIn, do I have to re-import it again? It doesn't automatically update yet.
You do because LinkedIn doesn't have that open network we're talking about. So if we can't receive the updates like that from LinkedIn, it's a bit of a manual process right now, and that's part of the short-term hurdle, right? But ultimately, once you have,
it's not that big a deal though. I mean, it's really a few clicks of a button. You download a file and you upload a file, and I think everybody watching this has done that before.
Right, exactly. And this isn't something we expect people to do moving forward either, right? Is that getting your data in once in your doc network and then verifying it and storing that data. You won't need it again and again unless you want to make future updates. So yeah, this is my information is basically your identity. This is your information that you want to use across the internet that could be relevant in different applications. Relatively straightforward. The app section is where it gets really interesting, right? And this is still in the early days, but ultimately long term, this is the really exciting part of Doc. Is like we help you control your information. We help you confirm and verify your identity, your one source that you want to use across the internet. Now you can start to connect with different apps with that identity. So I'll show you an example of what this will look like, but ultimately it's turned into a marketplace, a really robust marketplace where you can try out different applications and basically automate a lot of experience like I was talking about. So Remote is an obvious partner. Remote.com is one of the largest job networks in the world for remote and freelance work. So people sign up, set job preferences, they complete a profile, set job preferences, start applying to jobs. It's a bit of a manual process when you first sign up to the platform, right? You have to create a new account from scratch. You have to complete all your work experiences and histories, etc. The really cool thing we do is we automate that by saying you can instantly connect to Remote here, import your information from Doc to Remote in seconds, and start applying to jobs immediately versus going to Remote, signing up for an account from scratch, which could take upwards of 30 plus minutes before you're applying and you actually start matching to the right jobs. It happens instantly here. So it's pretty cool. So, and then you could see like what information I'm sharing with Remote here at the bottom as well. You can learn a bit about Remote. So Remote's the first of many partners as we start to build out this ecosystem. We have a number of partners here coming along as well. And not only that, we have 120 plus active dialogues with different partners as well. A few of those are publicly traded companies. So as we grow out the longer term, the medium, which you completely control, which is exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like how, I mean, and what I also like about it is you can see visually how you're connected and where you're connected to, without thinking about it. And today you actually have to think about where all your accounts are.
Right, exactly. So that's part of the experience. Is ultimately we're going to give you one place where you manage all of your accounts. You see everywhere on the internet your information's used, how it's used, what applications are accessing what data, easy ways to revoke that access as well. So as we start to build out more and more of this experience, it gets pretty exciting.
Yeah, you're right. This is a big vision.
Yeah, very, very big vision. But we're excited. We're very, very passionate, very excited about it. And we've pretty good sized following that's excited about it as well. So, and there's vote here as well. This is the governance mechanism. So this ties into the doc token. So there's proposals that get submitted. There's no proposals right now, but you can see a number of proposals that have been submitted previously. And what happens here is people submit proposals. We put these proposals up for vote. And if they pass, ultimately we begin implementing these proposals. So you can see there's a number of proposals here. They're either protocol related or they're app related. We're looking at the app right now, which is, like I said, the end user experience. The protocol is more infrastructure level, backend related, but there's a number of proposals. If you have doc tokens, you can vote on these proposals essentially and help us govern doc and what's going to happen within doc and the decisions we make as a company to grow the network. And this is part of like blockchain and cryptocurrency.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's almost like ownership of the platform.
Right, and that's what we're looking to build as well, right? Like we're looking to build an open network. We're looking to build something decentralized that no one person, no one entity can control, and then really that's what blockchain's all about. The earn section's been deprecated. That was a program we had going on when we first released the platform, where people could earn doc for certain things, like helping grow the platform, referring friends and such. We did deprecate that feature, and but there will be some other ways to earn doc in the future.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. That's one of the things that when you start to use the blockchain that you can do that you can't do on, like LinkedIn. There's honestly, outside of you want to keep an updated profile, so maybe you get a view from the right person. There's really no incentive for people to get on the platform and do anything. Whereas, with what you're creating, you're helping to incentivize people to maintain not only their digital identity, but also the entire platform itself by giving them the opportunity to earn these tokens. And it just makes so much more sense than, quote, I'll say the old way, if you will, of doing things.
Yeah, exactly. We're definitely changing the old way quite a bit. Yeah, we're excited about making that change though, because it's a system that's very broken that needs to be changed.
That is true. All right, so that's the overview, right? I mean, I'm looking at my screen too. I think we've covered everything that's in here.
That's the overview right now. Correct. The app is in its early stages. This experience that you see here is in its early stages. So, like I said, there are some releases planned coming up shortly, which provide more tools to govern or to control your information, and then the medium to longer term players will be rolling out partners kind of week over week, month over month moving forward. We just published our APIs, and partners have begin integrating. So that's how you see remote integrator right here. And there'll be partners essentially coming on board in the weeks moving forward, starting to build out that experience as well.
So the message is get on board now, because the train is leaving the station and it'll make stops along the way to continue to improve. But I mean, this is the way we've been going this way forever, right? But this is the way of the world in the next 5 to 6 years. And we need to have our digital identities up to snuff, if you will, because it's going to make a difference in, opportunities we get, how we can advance in our career, who we can connect with and who we can't connect with. And I really like the platform. I love the big vision idea behind it. I'm looking forward to continuing to watch you grow it and see where it goes from here.
Appreciate that, Ryan. Yeah. And I think the message is if you have any interest at all in controlling your information or your identity online or using the internet in a safer way, connect at Doc and learn more. And we're working on some exciting stuff, and we'll continue to roll out updates over the coming weeks and months.
Awesome. Nick, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate not only being on the podcast portion of the show, but also this demo portion as well. Best of luck to you. And if I can help you out in any way as you start to roll this thing out in a bigger way, please be free to let me, feel free to contact me and let me know if we want to do this again once you've rolled out some changes and you've got a different maybe UI or interface or things you want to show off. Let me know.
Appreciate that, Ryan. Thank you very much. And as always, happy to be here, and it's good to reconnect after a few and a half years.
Yeah, we should probably let's try to do a year and a half
Yeah.
between connections or something like that.
All
All right,
right,
man.
Dad.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Ryan.